Nate, your air attempt in 2020 at Pipe kind of changed the way that we consider what's possible on a surfboard.
What about Nathan Fletcher in like 1987?
I was going to say that. His brother back then.
Ahead of his
time. I was watching a clip of like AI the other day, and he got barreled at back door in a heat, and like came out, and there's like this big old end section. It was like probably like the scariest part of the reef to do in air, and he just like did this big old like lean like straight air flyaway like into like the crevice of the wave, which is like really tapped.
There's like an old clip I think of Kelly doing like a crazy like rodeo flip out of the bowl that was like nuts.
But your air that you did, I mean, is it not the highest one? I mean,
since my brothers.
So I mean, over 40. I mean, you're still.
But I landed and fell off, but it was a make to me.
Well, I mean,
but not in the world.
Just an attempt, period. I didn't see in any wave, in any conditions, any place in the world, I haven't seen anybody attempt a wave air that big yet.
Nathan Fletcher, you know, that frontside air he did, ridiculous, you know.
It actually, to be honest, didn't feel big because the way that things were, it almost hiccuped and it caught the wind just right, and so everything was so perfect. It felt kind of normal almost. And then Nelly was, oh yeah, that was the biggest air ever, blah, blah, blah. He had his camera in his hand, he didn't show me. And so I went home and I was, oh, cool, whatever. But then like when I saw the photo, I was like, why didn't he show me the photo when I got to the beach to like verify this? Because it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt easy.
So is Pipe just a genuinely good airwave, or are these people just finding really good sections every once in a while?
Well, it just depends really on the wind. And so like, I would say backdoor is a great airwave as well but I'm goofy foot, but I swear if it's like a Kona wind and you can get the speed down the line that you get at backdoor, you could potentially go higher and bigger than anywhere else in the world. That's just my opinion.
For me, like everything is the wind. So if the wind is the right way, yeah, it could be great, but most of the time it's that devil or the wind that'll blow your board right away from your feet.
Nate Fletcher's like taken me out at Pipe when the wind's just howling and there's been no one out, and there's just been the biggest, craziest sections ever. And there literally is the opportunity to get one of the best tubes of your life and come out into the biggest air like anyone's ever done. It's like something psycho is gonna go down like no matter what.
Like when you saw John do that alley-oop, I believe it was like almost dead wind, maybe a little bit of south wind. But the fact is when it's really offshore, neither way is good for doing any sort of big airs. And so I just feel like it's really condition based.
If it's barreling, then it's barreling, and I hope that someone that's getting barreled wins. But if it's some light on shores, then I could see someone doing an air and winning.
You're gonna maybe see them if the waves aren't as good, but the wind is right. You're gonna see them doing more of the tricks that you would wanna see like in an air show or an air contest, or say, what we even say stab high.
Ramps out Pipe excite me. And the wind's, you know, the wind's always really up the face and a pretty good direction for a big air.
Wind creates landings because you get air up under your board and you float down softer. It really just depends on what the wind direction is, but I think it's definitely doable.
With the cast that has been invited, I feel like there's definitely going to be favoring certain surfers on certain conditions, and I feel like if it does get that like almost light onshore and it's still big where the barrels aren't as good, then you're going to be seeing like people definitely going to the maximum capacity of height.
I'd be terrified to try an air at backdoor just because like it's so much shallower on
the landing at backdoor. I mean, you can get as high as you want. The landing's gonna be the tricky part.
Yeah, it's just got like that flat slab, like you said, where there was no water cushion.
It's not that flat when you actually hit it.
Yeah.
Is there a landing?
Those sections are scary because there's so much water and they're so powerful. So it's like, you could so easily get hurt doing it, you know? If the opportunity comes, I'll definitely like try.
The landing at backdoor is deadly. It's like, it's not even a landing. It's like on the dry reef.
I would say the biggest possibility would be to like race through this section, and right on the corner of the other side, you could be
right
blasting the highest air ever.
But yeah, hitting big sections is fucking terrifying. You know, and you kind of pay with it with your body. You know, when it doesn't work out, you know, there's a good chance you're gonna hurt yourself.
You want to land on your board just to keep you from like penetrating into the reef, you know?
When you do airs, I feel like the best airs are when you're coming from a lot of water, a big massive wave.
That was insane.
And you're coming into the perfect small transition, because airs you can't do on a big transition. Like, you could do it on a big wave, but it's only gonna be the top 2 feet of the wave that you're using to get the pop, because otherwise the face is so drawn out, you don't get the same amount of pop. But if you can get like that big wave, like say the wedge, if you can catch that and get that much speed and then come into the small transition and get the huck out of it.
And just the punch that the wave has, like if you get a good 6 to 8 to 10 foot day at pipe, like some of the sections that are going to be coming through are going to be so crazy. And some of the lunatics that are going to be out there hitting them, holy shit.
But now with this new generation, and especially guys like, say, Matt Miola or the other misfits category, their make ratio is really high, and they're going to be looking at things definitely different than, like, say, what my generation looked at it like. And so for me, I want to see those guys trying airs, because I feel like they should be like sticking stuff on the flat on the gnarliest wave.
But the criteria you folks have, an air can score just as high as a barrel. So I mean, people are definitely going to approach the wave differently, just on the notion of the criteria that you guys put forth. I really think that criteria really speaks to different surfers' strong points out of pipeline. Some might not be as strong in the barrel, but getting a barrel and sticking a 50-foot air, right? I mean, it's possible.
Airs and turns could be excellent scores over an excellent barrel. Depends how gnarly you want to get and how big of a section you want to attack or boost.
If you could link a huge barrel to a crazy air, like, of course that should go into the score. You know, not every day is perfect in barreling, and if the contest happens and, you know, it's not perfect, of course air should be like a huge factor.
It excites me. I think it's definitely doable. Guys have done incredible fucking airs out there, so it's definitely doable.
I feel like for the viewers as well, it's going to be a lot more exciting, because guys aren't just going to turn out the back and try and race to get priority. They're going to like try and
No priority. No priority.
Well, it is priority.
Like I said, I think that's going to be the difference in
jockeying.
Jockeying.
In mindset when you do compete in this event, because if you get the big barrel and kick out, you're probably not going to win, because someone's going to get a big barrel and do something at the end, and you're going to have to hit that lip, do that big roundhouse arcing turn or a big air to actually get those big scores. Mostly, unless you squeak out the bottom or something, has some kind of
potential
end section or something that you can do something at the end of the wave. Well, this format is set up to blow minds.
Yes.
Someone's mind's going to be blown. If their mind's not going to be blown, their knee or their ankle's probably going to be blown. So there's going to be action. I really see this contest as coming down to that big air or that big snap at the end. Who's going to get to that final four, honestly, because I don't think just the big barrel's going to do it if they're really emphasizing. Because we've been putting a lot of emphasis on that one section, getting that one big aerial. And like you said, if one big air can score as much as a big barrel, this is going to really have to encompass all aspects of the judging spectrum to, I feel, be able to make it to that four-man final. And once you get there, I mean, I think the gloves are off and it's going to be fireworks. I don't just think the traditional big barrel at Pipeline is going to have any thing to do with winning this event.
Pipeline, the end section is like a wave I'd be hunting, like on a normal day. Like I'd be like, oh, look at that. Like I'd be taking off where they're kicking out and psyching on that ramp. So I'm just like, every time I see someone kick out and I see the ramp like funneling down the line with that perfect wind, it just like kills me inside.
For sure, I think Pipe would definitely have to be up there with one of the best airwaves in the world. But yeah, I guess they just don't get a look in because the pit's so fucking good.
In terms of like being the best airwave in the world, there's a lot of waves that are a lot more like mechanically like better for doing airs, but in terms for like getting launched and potentially like doing the biggest air ever done, I'd definitely say it's up there. Just scrape the surface on like what could be done out there. Like I think something like really skits could go down out there, and hopefully it happens like throughout the event, which would be pretty damn exciting to watch.
Anyone's capable of winning, you know, it's anyone's game. And how exciting is this going to be for the spectators? Because normally you watch a contest at Pipeline and somebody gets blown out of a barrel and that's, you know, kind of like, wow, and that's it. But like, people are going to get blown out of barrels and then, you know, people are going to celebrate that and then they're going to huck a huge air and they're gonna be freaking out
I
on
think
that.
the celebration's gonna come after the big turn of the big air. Like the
Yeah.
big barrel's gonna be like, okay, cool, what's he gonna do after that? I think.